It's the Canadian Clash. It's going to be what you expect. So, Jesus Murphy, we got ourselves a full tilt here. Grab yourself a Timmy's or a Mickey, a Hoser. It's Vancouver versus Toronto in the Canadian Clash. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on, ladies and gentlemen. If you are Surge, you are so happy to be spawning in on the vault for the map number 1. We know how dominant they have been ever since the addition of Neptune, but already in the kill feed, Kleenex and Joe Disease, the SMGs for Ultra coming out swinging.
Yeah, big start. You have that Beans on another SMG just to kind of get that tempo forward, push Vancouver out, and they will split the spawns just a touch here on the side of Surge. Other fight on the backside, Neptune shut down. 0-4 looking for an opportunity to break his way on in. Nice snap, not going to get 2 though, and that's enough for Ultra to continue to win over the top of the Hardpoint.
And I love that initial play call right there from Ultra. We win a majority of the gunfights. Let's soak up some time, but let's not try to overextend. Let's play for that next wave, then try to flip these spawns. But Surge this time respond with a couple kills on their side. You're gonna go for a 3v2 on the split. You have Nasty trying to hold it down, but now he's the only one here.
Big elimination from Beans. Abuza will fall. That also has Kleenex spawning close. Just on to Nasty to try to hold the backside of P2. Not going to happen. Ultra looking good around the back of the Hardpoint, but can they win the gunfights up front? And so far, yes, they can. Both Surge members will drop, and only a single point has been tallied so far for Vancouver.
Oh, Joe Deceives is already getting loose. A 5-2 start. Almost finds that second onto Nasty. But he was just being a nuisance, creating an extra layer for his teammates to be uncontested at this P2. Now if you're Vancouver, how are you going to set up the break? You take the long route, you find the opening kill. You're going to spawn at least 2 players closer to the hard point, but you still got to get in.
Not able to finish off on the Joe Deceives. Couple of members will still spawn backside P2. Bean's going to be working alongside inside, at least momentarily, but both members fall. It's been a very cold start for Vancouver, but they're going to get the best of the scrap time of 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's a good 20 seconds to walk away with, and now going over towards the P3, P4 connection. This is where Surge usually dominate the game. You're keeping yourself in the mix. You're trying to battle off the rotation, but Insight holding down the long distance lane already lines up a double. So you're going to be uncontested. If you are Ultra at the new HP, just got to hold.
And they're getting early time from Joe Deceives already in the hard point. Good win though for Vancouver. Put some pressure down through mid in the old P1. Abuza, Neptune, first 2 kills going to be tallied their direction as Beans just has to hold over towards Art. Toronto still spawning favorably. Vancouver now in the time, looking to get this next wave of kills their way.
And you don't want to allow Vancouver to soak up a lot of time here, because one thing that they are so good at on this hard point is in the final 10 to 15 seconds, they get the kills and hit the routes to put these spawns out. And already Neptune right here making a big time play, is only able to take down 1, but that's good enough for his teammates to still be uncontested for the time.
That's the big news right there. It's mitigation of the route for Toronto, but extra time for Vancouver digging into what was about a 50-point deficit to start. 0-4, AR in hand, trying to get the work done from inside the hard point, but tagged up down to a single bullet worth of health, trying to get the reach, and shots towards Kleenex decent, but Beans once again through the mid cut, able to follow up, and that's going to be enough for Toronto Ultra to win the rotation to nuke.
Oh, that is perfection. Insight does not drop from top bar. He is holding down the long distance lanes. You got the P4 side, and you can potentially grow the lead even more. Let's step aside and go to listening with Ultra.
I have your scout. Yeah, watch front goal, 2 for 2 goal. Blind really weak goal. They're hitting the back, they're playing to the back. Absolute Joe, okay? Just get off. See back door. Come on. Get up. Yeah, smoke close, come in. Yeah, what's absolute back? Backside, wizard, really good. See backside. Back hookah, backside you. Back hookah, backside. Nice. Still statue. Still statue, right side. Okay, jump time. One's on time right now. Statue. One on time. Top as well, okay?
Yeah. March again. 0-4 not weak. He's pushed off statue, right side.
People, one shot of ult, no worries.
They still
Still scout. Nice shot. Actually, go. I spawned out. 0-4 to get through. There's plenty scout now.
I plan. Well, brother.
Could be new.
Yeah, flanks. Yo, one's out gate. Only 2 on top. Nice, let's get time and then one give me left. Okay, chat.
Absolute open. They're open. Slip mid flank. Nice.
We close.
Yep. I'm going counter. 20 right. 20 right.
I have a car. Go left. Nice shot. That's first guy. Oh, behind you. Lobby, hitbox.
He's low.
I'm leaving. Nice shit, Toby.
Weak top cat.
Weak, my bad. house. They spawn house.
By the way. Double side close.
One behind you guys.
Dub's coming out.
Wait, one spawn next to us, Joe.
He's close heading out on time.
Blind.
Keep my face, I don't see why.
I'm taking a weird route.
Right left, right.
Yo, one's already out new. Yo, catch up, dead. Yo, one out of pumps. Yeah, really weak.
One's probably left as well.
Rest of them out of pumps, by the way.
Give me deep oil, you guys.
Push it.
One more spawn out.
Yeah, one oil. Back push two, yeah.
Rest of them out of pumps, boys.
Give it a second.
I'm in here. Get back door. One shot, dude. He went in front near.
He's in
Yo,
pool.
one's out of pumps.
Spawn house as well, nasty. That's his deep house though.
We're gonna go top house.
Yo, they're catch up for now, and the one single. Just
Nice
jump
sector.
down, okay?
Still low count.
I got stunned.
Try and
Team
stay
ready.
You're probably out front.
Yo, out of pumps. Single dead. Come on, catch up.
It's a low pool. Go out of single.
Single weak is full. Went there.
Nice there.
Yo, who's the shot out of pumps?
They went back.
Good. Back second. There's one more. Out of pumps, by the way. One shot.
Comes upstairs to me.
Last two time. Child, you're out front.
We're gonna pound me.
Hot start for Ultra, but the breakthrough P4, and now the follow-up from Abuza, staying alive inside of P2, has Vancouver in the lead.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable play right there. The 2v4 scenario for Vancouver. As soon as that P2 pops, you're simply outnumbered, but the heads-up play for no one to hop the objective, let them fill that time, get that first kill, and then play the bait and switch for your teammates to get back into the play, allow Vancouver to make something out of nothing. But Insight is beaming. Again, on 2 in a row. You just don't have the side of the map that you want, so you need to find more.
And this is the Jamie Craven that Ultra fans want to see show up today. Tie game, 117-117, headed over to the most heated hardpoint in Black Ops 6. P3. Who's going to be able to get any time at all as we start to battle over towards the left side of the map. Neptune stopping the play in front of him. Neptune gets 3 from front side palm. 04 keeps him alive from the trade, and a key 1v1 backside art potentially to come through.
He's been causing Ultra so many nightmares ever since he's entered the Surge lineup. And he has a massive play there to control the right side of the map, but at the wrong time, everyone is gonna fall. Final 15 seconds, Ultra are in, and all they're looking for now is where Nasty is gone.
And they're not just looking, they're on the hunt. The man Prowler's on. Jonas sees him to take down Nasty. Jonas sees following up good gunfight win versus Abuza. Side door play from Neptune, though. He's going to find the first. He's got help on the way. 04 trying to play through Art. Nice shots from Neptune. Ultra trying to play recovery. Hardpoint open, but no one's in. 129, 124, and a battle for spawn spot to ensue.
Yeah, Neptune's just trying to hold, waiting for the teammates to get closer into the play. Finally, Abuza opens up with the first kill. You get the trades around the back end, you instantly spawn them out. And Vancouver have an opportunity again to dominate the P4 HP. And if you're Ultra, you need to find a break and find it quick.
Big swing moment in this map right here potentially for Vancouver. Insight dropping on rotation, but has Joe deceived, snuck around. Nade comes out. What timing is that for Nasty? Holy cow, 150, 126. Vancouver cooking as we head into a Surge listen-in.
One marble, okay? I'm gonna take one.
Jamie out.
Marble weak Kleenex, okay?
Get inside,
You just sit in there, guys. Good fucking regame.
Charlie, get inside, Donnie.
Vote dev, guys.
Channing, you're out.
One marble, guys. Marble,
Beans. Beans coming, dead.
Marble.
Put him in your book, Shah. Put him in your book, Shah.
Really shot time.
Put him in your book, Shah.
One back with two guys.
Listen, James,
Open up top. Yo, one's playing for you, Jonas.
Yeah, one back with three.
Nice, Jonas. One's open, okay?
I'm winning quick, guys.
Yeah, but shot. We're chat line.
Open, no, I think twice open, time, open, chat him.
One's close.
Light. He's in light.
We swap a go.
Open.
Yeah, I'm trying mid door.
I've got this one. He's count me, I think.
Center P2 truck,
Middle.
I'm jumping. Middle, one shot, Joe.
One might be a new. I think he's a new Jordan.
I'll send him a
Mini snaked it.
Lights, dead. Go left, guys, please.
Beans is left.
Hey, let's see.
Watch out.
P2 truck, another guy. One mini, one P2 truck. Nice, one P2 truck still.
Blocking out, just coming out.
He's mini then.
Pulling out. One time.
Yo, cast up.
Only one time. Try to get it.
He's dead. The one is be nice. I need you push.
Don't play kills, fuck me time.
Out of beans.
Nice.
Beans out of
Device.
Then what's that?
Play kills, please. Oh, you don't get lights if you can.
Watch out,
Johnny, 3 to one side.
I did twice on time, I'm one HP guys.
And then it's up,
I need left, he's left.
Chow many guys, we fucked the hill, Chow many.
Don't stay on time.
On time, Phoenix.
Listen, Chow many, please.
Do on time.
Nice. Don't bang time like that.
Go right.
Time Joseph.
He's
He's gonna be here.
That's fine. You're gonna be in P4 maybe out. You're gonna play fucking safe.
Middle, beast. One shot, free kill. Kill it.
Ready.
After, I'm in you. Middle.
Nice shot. One on.
Big bounce back for Ultra over the 200-point mark. About a 20-point game heading back into P3. Currently, Ultra in the favorable position over the top of Hardpoint. Vancouver are stacked up on B Street.
They're stacked up over towards B Street. You're trying to find the kills to enter your way back into the HB. And it's the SMG, and Joe Deceives. Lines up a double through double door. 04 knows I cannot allow him to soak up this time for free. Gotta push on up. Allow my teammates to fill behind me. You're trying to get to that 190-point mark, but you need to flip the spawn.
Big 1v1 here, and Kleenex weakened up by the initial gunfight, finds himself a double-double. And now he's got an opportunity to back on up. It's 215 to 190. Vancouver playing from the back foot.
Need to find an opening. Pressure going to be through the middle of the map. It looks like 04 got really good timing, at least for the first kill. Make it a double, and this is where it gets scary, because now they're going to start to get aggressive. 2 players from Ultra spawning on the opposite side of the map.
Double agent, though. You've got Joe Deceives behind the play. Able to find the first. Can he find more? No, 04 up top shuts him down. Insight next one up. Hardpoint not open yet. Insight clears out the front. Vancouver trying to play around the back. What happens with the spawns here? It is Toronto inside the hardpoint. That means that Abuza will not spawn close. It's just down to who wins the gunfights here in the back door.
Oh, and Vancouver are going to have the numbers. The pressure from the side door is going to force all of Ultra to look in so many different angles. But free Holas from the top side of the window almost lines up a double. Stalls out the time. You only need 15 more seconds if you're Ultra.
Here comes the Cadesto. Nasty for the opener. Kleenex, good shots for first, but pinstripe kill feed. Vancouver in control for now, and they will clear out the front doors. 30 seconds to fight. What decision does Ultra want to make? Do you want to play for exits? Do you want to just try to rotate to one? Or can you set up some sort of a break to get more time here on hold?
You're going to do it one more time. It's just Neptune on the pinch is going to equalize it. Finds a double. Now you know there's still going to be pressure towards the back, but again, Neptune lines up 3. The game is basically going to be tied as we head back over to P1.
04 though gets shut down on the pinch. There will be no quick transition here for Vancouver. Abuza provides some sort of an opportunity though from the front. And hold on a second, Ultra aren't actually in the hard point right now. 04 off the top rope. Nice shots on the beats. Can't quite find the kill. And that's Fournette. 236, 234. Ultra need to go quickly. They're going to call the Hellstorm.
They're going to use the Hellstorm. You got to try to find the kill, at least force it into a different position. But Neptune knows I got to be aggressive towards Cat. He at least finds one. Final push here for Ultra.
Insight for 2. Nasty trying to cut this off. 245, 234. Ultra cannot get back into the hard point. One more player with Joe Deceives for the 1v1. He's able to clear the hard point, but can they get back to touch? Kleenex. Oh, can they get into contest? No! Vancouver strike first in an absolute slobber knocker, laying the lumber on him.
I do not know what it is, but every single time Surge and Ultra play an opening ball HP, it is absolute cinema. Last time it was a 1-point game, a chase or a race over towards the P2 spawn. But this time Surge always bank on what's been working for them the entire season. That P4 HP is just so dominant. They time their kills to perfection at the street. Realize we are the aggressors. We can spawn 2 out and give us the advantage with the gunfights off towards New. And even though that game was tremendously hectic from start to finish, that was a beautiful closing moment there from Surge to take map 1.
And just go figure. You got that moment from Joe Deceives jumping in, finding 2. Nearly opens up the hard point once again. Troops are on the way. They just could not quite get back in. Yeah, you better believe we're going to go back and rewatch that one again, friends. Holy. Let's take a look back at it, because initially you're looking at this fight for P4. This is the moment of pause. This is where it's like, okay, no more action for Ultra. They try to commit for a bit of a break. Doesn't happen. But then Kleenex gets 2. Insight's going to follow up for a double of his own here in a minute. And you're thinking, hold on a second, Ultra in a good spot.
Yeah, and this is where it all changes, though. With Abuza finding 2 of his own, he allows at least 1 player from Ultra to spawn behind them. So you give your teammates the numbers advantage to flood their way through the middle of the map. 1 player spawns out. 04 is going to take care of him. We have the hard block on the P2 side, so all your focus is going to be towards Lion. One more wave of kills with Neptune creating an extra layer is all you need.
Yeah, that little bit of extra space is big, but there's the double from Insight. And at this moment, you're starting to think, oh, Ultra have the numbers. They've got an off spawn for a pinch, but it's that little push up from Nasty. Clears the front door. He finds himself a second. You get the 1v1 between two of the electric SMGs, both of our players to watch before the series start, and Ultra can get back to the front door, but cannot touch to continue on. And now Neptune is fired up. What an absolute stunner in map number 1. If that tells you how this tournament has gone, you've missed some days. I'll tell you what, because wow.
You just never know what's going to happen out of COD's hands, man. If you even think about the end of that P4, Beans pops that 2-piece from topside window, they probably stand a better chance of closing out the game there, but just simply getting outnumbered. Surge plays to their advantages. The teamwork always makes the dream work. And when you take a look at the game flow, it was anyone's game to the final moments. But Surge are able to ice up, take the map number 1. And now, going into a protocol search and destroy, this is the most important map for me, without question, for both of these teams, because they have both been struggling in S&D.
That's very true. In the head-to-head matchup, though, Ultra do hold a slight edge. It's like 6-3, I think, in head-to-head map count between them in the search and destroys. Protocol has not been like a common place that they've squared up, though. It's been here a couple of times in this particular matchup. And again, that number still favors that of Toronto, but it doesn't feel like numbers make much of a difference in this tournament. We've got number 1 seeds out. We've got the number 7 seed, number 8 seed in the winner's final. You know, ignore all that. Let's just see kind of what the recency bias is, because both teams have had, I think, some major vulnerabilities, as you point to, in the search and destroy.
Oh yeah, you got 2-8 in the last 10 for Surge, 3-9 in the last 12 for Toronto. This was the game mode that was the backbone for them, for their success early on into the year. But like the Des touched on it, they just can't find first bloods.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to be able to do that versus Surge, who love to play protocol, because you know what 04 is capable of. He consistently loves to run through top mid. They majority of the time also like to play for that B site. So if you are Ultra thinking, all right, we're going to shut down the bottom aggressive play in towards A, but then are not in full rotation, or at least fully set up off the rotation to contest that B site, that is when Vancouver are going to give you your most problems. But that first flood is going to be the biggest thing on this map too.
Deep breaths there, friends. We have a long series potentially in front of us here. And yes, we want to talk about one of the guys that has been a staple up here in Toronto. It's been Insight. Problem is, he has not shown up in Search and Destroy yet. No first blood wins. To be fair, he's not the one taking a lot of them, but still, when he's had the chance to, he has not converted, and the KD has not been great. So we want to talk about somebody who could show up and really turn the tides here. How about no other than Insight? Here we go. Toronto on the opening offense. Let's get the protocol search underway.
See how they're going to try to set the tone early on. Not going to be the aggressors to work it towards A. Vancouver already gained early information. They're just going to take their time and look at 04. Not wasting any time. He's going to almost strike for the first blood, but Kleenex makes him pay for it.
That provides a little bit of space to work with over towards field side, with Insight watching over the top. Get Neptune taking a bit of a peek over to see if there was any action for Ultra down towards field. Doesn't really come to fruition. And it's going to be looking like an A hit here, unless Kleenex can find it. How did he get up the rope? Hey, how are you? That'll work. Follow up on the Neptune is good, and it all rests with Nasty.
Nasty in a 1v3. Does have the information that the bomb is going to be down right by his feet, but the stun is going to connect. He wins the one-on-one, and realistically, if you're Ultra, no one in a position to trade, so Nasty can still clutch this one.
Off the reset, the regen, and the reload. The bomb has been collected. Nasty's timing on that frag will come up empty. Does get him back down in towards elevator. But tagged. Oh boy, so now he's got to back up again, and his approach of surprise has been eliminated. Quickly back up and around.
Still got 30 seconds to work with. Insight committed on the zip pinch.
It's an individual 1v1. Opening shots. This is on the Insight. There's the Semtex. Nasty pushing forward. The sub finds the first. Does he have the opportunity to get the reset back in? Just down to 22 health. There's the regen. Shots over to Insight are decent. Now playing with the clock. Oh! A 1v3 for Nasty. Talk about a start here for Protocol.
And if you were trying to get some early momentum on the side of Ultra, it's instantly going to get stripped away from you. Nasty with an unbelievable 1v3 to start off the S&D. Wins the one-on-one to start it off by being stunned on the drop down. Information gained from Ultra when that nade connects, but Insight fully committing on that zip pinch. Doesn't allow the trade to fully come in. And Nasty just finesses his life so wonderfully to allow Vancouver to continue to have the momentum and secure the first round.
What a statement. Just when you start to think Toronto are going to come out of that fiery finish to vault and just cool the Jets. Not the case. Nasty for the 1v3. Now Vancouver's turn for offense. Quick hit here for the defense of Toronto. Back down over towards that main double door, but this is what you point towards, Jay. 0-4 once again, getting aggressive early, and he's got an opportunity to possibly find himself a 1v1. Beats reads it, 0-4's out of there.
0-4 just going to draw the attention. B's trying to commit on the gunfight, but you're going to basically give the comp to Ultra. They're potentially going to work this bomb over towards B. Neptune edging his way on up. Trying to clear out the backside, but is now going to commit on the bomb plant.
Made over the top from Beans, destroyed by the trophy system. And here come Toronto trying to contest the exit. Not quite able to find the follow-up, and there's Vancouver in the perfect post plant, including Nasty again on 4 in a row. Neptune over the top of his previous plant. No, surely not. Beans, good for one, tags onto another, but help is on the way, and Vancouver quickly swarm to find their second round.
Yeah, you cannot allow Vancouver to take all that mid-map control away from you as fast as they did, because that's when they are truly comfortable. They don't really like to take any risks working towards bottom comps. They preferred the B site the entire season so far. And that is the reason why. You find the first blood, you instantly get the objective down. And the post plan setup just way too strong there from Surge. Ultra need to stop the bleeding and stop it quick.
I don't know what else you could have possibly wanted right there from Toronto. You get to read on 0-4's initial play, you get to read the bombs being planted. It's just the setup too strong for Vancouver. You don't win those opening gunfights. And now Nasty's got 5 in a row through 2 rounds. Getting likely very close to an early missile. Stun for Joe, will tag. A little bit of information there for Ultra's offense. Septex comes through, Neptune pushed off just in the nick of time. He actually does get away. He was probably very close to falling there if one shot hit him.
He's able to get out of dodge, and Abuza finds that first look from top window onto Kleenex. So the man advantage again for Surge. No need to do anything extra. Make sure all your bases are covered. I love the rotation play out of Nasty because you're not going to be ready for that.
Yeah, Toronto just cannot get anything going. Nasty going to hold for a moment. Neptune working on a long pinch over through Grandma's. Bomb going to be planted at B. But Nasty's position is everything, as Insight is the one trusted to lock down this post plant. Here comes Nasty and doesn't miss a bullet. Follow-up is good. 7-0 start for Nasty. Post plant dismantled. Flawless round for Vancouver.
That's just a beautiful play right there out of Nasty. You're not going to be able to read that if you're Insight. No one shows face on that B side. You instantly get the objective down. The first 10 seconds go away. You're thinking, all right, we're going to stand a pretty good chance here, even in the man down. Nasty making, again, another nasty play on the map. Sounded like an elephant climbing up that ladder,
I'll
but
say.
Insight was not able to hear him. Finds the first. Joe Deceives is stuck between nothing. And that's quickly 3-0 for Surge with him on 7 in a row.
And for all of, I think, just like the super nerds that are out there, like the fact that Neptune is the one pushing through, Nasty holds his ground, that's critical. Because at one point, it looked like he was going to go maybe earlier than expected up that ladder. But into round 4 we go. Need a response from Ultra, you need it quickly. Keep your eye on number 1. It's 0-4 once again. Beans was responsible for this last time. Here in round 4, Insight's seen it. But a track backwards, and 0-4 says, we don't need to commit on this long wrap through sidewalk. Let's just hit A late.
And this is why they are too much to handle on a map like Protocol, because you just got punched in the face when they go over towards B in a clean 4v4. But this time you're stacking everybody on the site, and Surge just cut their way back through the middle of the map and drop down in towards A with trophy system. 4v4 retake on the cars. They found the first.
Yeah, that's big. Abuza was the one responsible for mid doors. Now everyone else in the backside of the site just has to play their crosses. Kleenex dismantles one. Beans follows up. Now it's just down to find it the last. And 0-4 will be pistol up by Kleenex. Flawless response from Ultra.
Yeah, that was extremely clean right there from Ultra. It always helps when you find that first blood. Surge, more specifically Abuza, just gets too aggressive at that big door. At that point, you're forcing your teammates now to watch multiple things. Just get some bad timing and a clean retake right there from Ultra. Just made that one look easy to finally put one on the board.
It all starts with Abuza falling, though. I mean, just that post plan for Vancouver is not in a position to deal with big door if Abuza falls. So great first team shots coming out of Ultra. Perfect follow-up. An important round on the board for them. Can they go back-to-back? Really, they need to find something around the objective, because so far, they've been allowed to plant in both their offenses. They just cannot get a post plant set up.
Might have to go for a pace change too, because 0-4 consistently through both sides, showing a lot of presence over towards tower. So we're going to be the aggressors over towards B. Kleenex already behind enemy lines, going to catch good timing, but I love how that player does not commit on the gunfight. You value your life, you're still in the 4v4.
The bomb makes its way up to B. There is no defender here to stop this, at least not initially, but Vancouver look, they want to try to test this. Yep, 0-4 clears off the bomb plant. Follow up from Neptune. Kleenex has him weak. Backs down Travis, and there's an opportunity now for maybe 0-4 to pick up this pinch on the overextension.
Oh, an insight. Thought he was spotted there, so he does not commit fully on the pinch, and now you're right in the crosshairs of 0-4. Stuck into the corner, instantly going to get taken down, but Kleenex instantly with the response. Still a 2v2.
Yeah, it's a really good bailout to at least get the trade. The problem is Vancouver know the bomb is down. So Beans and Kleenex have to try to work this one together. Not a lot of time to work with either. Neptune, oh boy. That is one bold choice. Nasty from helicopter, going to give him the information early. Here comes the follow-up over towards sidewalk to try to clear this out. Neptune maybe has missed his window.
He's got to hurry.
Yeah, now you've got Ultra already re-clearing over towards helicopter. Neptune playing up top. Here comes the check down low. Sees the feet of Bean. Stops the plant. 1v1. Kleenex tag. Bang! Travis for the 1v2.
That's just so well played right there out of Neptune. Only 10 seconds left. I was able to sneak by the player over at Heli, so I take care of the bomb carrier. I got a deadly head glitch that Kleenex is not going to have the advantage in. Thought initially he was taking his sweet time to get back into the play. But if you're going to make up for it a 1v2 clutch, who cares? Vancouver, 4-1.
Oh man, it's just another one of those that you feel like Ultra's about to just wiggle their way back into the round. Get that to a 3-2 tally. The search and destroy feels like it's turning on its head, but not the case. A combined 1 and 8 for Joe Deceives and Insight. Just has not been good for Insight in the search and destroy this weekend. Stun check comes through. Look at a quick route this time from 0-4. Shut down though by Beans. Early numbers for Ultra.
That's a beautiful read right there out of Beans. Double out of Beans gives them the early man advantage. But Nasty and Neptune already respond with 2. They gain information as well onto Joe Deceives. Nasty is going to be trapped. But Kleenex is not going to commit.
He's got help on the way. Joe Deceives is right there. Neptune, another 1v2 opportunity for him. Surely not. Sees Kleenex. Good opening tags. Has Joe weak. Can't finish the gunfight though. Too much to deal with here in round number 6, and Ultra get their second.
Yeah, it's good plays early on from Beans. Find the first blood and the second. The SMG's getting aggressive on the pinch. Staying as an army of 2. Not fully commit on gunfights unless your teammate is going to be there, and that works out there for Ultra. Secure their second round. You have found 4 first bloods in this S&D. It's been a struggle in that category. We just got to start playing our man-up advantages a little bit better.
Absolutely. Next offensive attempt for Ultra. After the aggression they showed last round, they're going to stick with it in at least certain ways for Kleenex. Already front grandmas and immediately around towards sidewalk. Vancouver aware of the timing. Not going to try to peek through the backside of the staircase. Instead going to commit their numbers forward. Look at 0-4. Look how far fast he's gotten. And I just don't know if you expect this if you're Ultra. 0-4 is getting all the information, but the bomb is planted. He needs to find this first one, though. Kleenex gets one before dropping. Not bad news here. 3v3.
The late pinch on Insight is what his teammates are waiting for. It's already worked as well. Tilch Cobble steps 30 seconds to go, but he is going to get picked off. Man advantage Vancouver.
Beans toss a grenade. Abuza not able to connect. Gets tagged in his own right. They don't know where the post plant had exited from Joe, but now they're going to find him. 0-4 over the top. Just down to Beans. He's found the first 2. 1v1. He's got Nasty in front of him. Doesn't get the initial read. Down to 64 HP. The shots are decent, but he can't get back. Another 1v3 comes through. This time it brings Ultra back to within 1.
Oh, and I've just been waiting for Mr. Benjamin Beans to make a big-time play in search and destroy to potentially provide a spark on the side of Ultra in a 1v3 in the swing round. He's going to do wonders now for his confidence. Massive round there from Beans. Gets the game even closer as we take a look at it again. Time is ticking. So you got to understand Abuza still being weak, has to try to commit on the gunfight. The Nasty, just not enough time there to find the kill and get the defuse. Ultra, 2 in a row now.
Different look here for Vancouver, trying to play aggressively through field side. They find Beans for first blood. He has been playing that position in just about almost every single defense. Insight keeps 04 at bay. Stun makes sure he stays at about 1 HP. Bomb, though, gets planted at A all the meanwhile. Insight able to find his second elimination, just down to what these three members for Surge can find around Spiral and inside A.
The fact that 04 got caught right there is not what you were expecting, but the RC is going to force Neptune out of position. And all of Ultra are not instantly going to pounce on that, so the RC is going to be responding on the opposite side. You still know where the pressure's coming.
Next, first couple of shots onto Abuza, but the problem is the SMG's in the back of the site. Nasty and Neptune sliding and working together. Neptune drops. Abuza still being held. Nasty able to respond with one of his own. X down to the 1v1 once again. Nasty from a 1v3 earlier, trying to play off the clock. Gonna give enough separation to just run forward, check it. Not gonna have time for the defuse, and Vancouver will find themselves on map point.
Just a switch up right there. It's too hard to read if you are Ultra. Vancouver, every single round on their offensives, have never been aggressive in towards bottom comms, but when you send everyone through tower, you find that first blood, you instantly drop down with the man advantage. This is a trade fest after that. Vancouver with the mid-round adjustment now puts them at game point. Ultra need to be able to shut them down.
Yeah.
At least make plays in towards bottom end.
This is just one of those offensive rounds you square up into a 5-3 and say, what do we even call right now? Same thing pretty much as usual. This time, Neptune is going to play an aggressive spot over towards P1. Haven't seen this yet, but 04 falls over towards the outside. Now Neptune has to make a play. Found the first. Joe sees a couple of tags that are in. Neptune just dancing. Joe has no idea where he's gone. Finds another. Oh my goodness. Now it's just down to Beans. 1v2 opportunity, finds the first cleanly. And it's a 1v1 with none other than Nasty, who has been incredible this search. Nasty wants the challenge. First shots are good. Frag, cooked up. Is it perfect? Not quite. Resets in, we re-go. We're running on the 1v1.
45 seconds to play with. Bomb not in the hands of Beans. He's just gonna wait for him potentially to run right in front of him, and Nasty's gonna get spotted.
And the shots are perfect! Beans for another massive clutch. Keep Ultra alive.
This guy is giving them lifeline after lifeline. A 1v3 followed up by a 1v2. He is starting to make big time plays in the big time moments. Still need one more round to try to force to round 11. Adjustments need to come on in. Do not allow SMGs to sneak on by. Have your ARs hold down all of the middle map, and ARs and the SMGs to shut down bottom A.
Well, think about the mind games that have happened. Vancouver have shown 04 through the bottom side of tin or front through sidewalk so many times, and now you've got something at A if they start to build. Consider stun check from Neptune. Hits a couple of members from Ultra, and here comes 04 once again, front side 10.
The adjustment, at least from Ultra, to have someone at Heli, but now Beans is going to be trapped. He has a trophy that's going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but back off the rotation. Sir said, nuh-uh, not going to deal with that. Potentially going towards A. Yeah,
Beans a couple of 1v2s and a trophy. Let's just let him stay there. Let's play the 4v3 and the rest of the map. 04 feeling frisky. Gets forward. A little bit of information, though, for Beans. Kleenex able to assist. And this is all. Surge is playing for the isolation. Doesn't fully come through. Trade is in, though, to a 3v3. Bomb dropping down over to A.
Man, that's all the information gained right there. They realize, okay, one bottom blue, one Heli. There can only be one player in towards the A site. No one is here, so the bomb is going to go down for 3. Do you have tax to potentially work your way back on in? There is a trophy for Surge to keep them alive a little longer.
But you have an extra AR on the field here. Joe Deceives, with an aim as in hand, has 3 ARs out. RCXD for Beans going to get called. You have to clear out Spiral. They will successfully do that. Also some information on a player playing inside the front side of PC, but Nasty's going to strike first to the 2v3. Joe, Semtex over the top. No trophy to keep that safe. Does not tag, though. Now you check the corner. Here's the follow-up from Nasty. He started it off with a 1v3. He'll finish with the final, and Vancouver is up 2-0.
Just too much to handle in those early rounds, man. You start off the S&D with allowing Nasty to get a 1v3 because we're not being patient on a team shooting. That's just tough, man, because even with Benjamin Beans, finding a 1v3, finding a 1v2, he was simply getting outclassed in the strategy. His Vancouver just kept you on your toes at all times. You were consistently stacking towards bottom A. The first two offenses go towards B.
Yep.
Now you're making the adjustments to shut down the B push, and then cutting through the mid-map, dropping down big door, and instantly getting the bomb planted. That's a very strong map there for Surge. I know it used to be a good one there for Ultra, but S&D has been a struggle as of recent, and it continues to show.
No, it also helps when I think about what, of our 10 rounds, 4 of them were 1v2s or 1v3s. So it's one of those that you look at the first blood count, doesn't even give you really any insinuation towards how the map had played out, outside of the fact that, like we've seen from Ultra in the past, first blood conversion percentages, not great. 5 first bloods from Kleenex, and you still lose 6-4. A 1v3, a 1v2 goes against you. Those rounds are everything. That's the difference of a 6-4 the other direction, without question.
Just got to think as well, like there was a round on their offense where they found the 2 initial kills, and Neptune, just being a nuisance, sneaks up towards Gun.
Yep.
The fact that he's able to walk away with the first kill, finesse his life long enough for Nasty to find the second and destroy that third player, those are rounds that simply cannot happen at this level, at this point of the year.
Well, you got a Vault Control and a Hacienda Hardpoint to try to get this thing back into the mix. But so far, it's been all Vancouver and a couple of tight maps in the Canadian Clash. The final iteration here on Black Ops 6. We'll be back to the break with Vault Control.
Let's fucking go! Away, man.
The Scuffed Call of Duty collection is $30 off this weekend only. Visit scuff.co/CDL to upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League.
Coach Rambo, Ultra coming up next, and you guys are 4-3 over them this season. You're 5-2 in map 1s, and you're also 9-3 in Hardpoint against them. Fantastic stats coming out of it. Obviously, I think you guys have the hottest start when it comes to facing them. Are you going to try and use that to try and close them out early on?
I think if anything, yesterday proved is that stats at this point in the season mean absolutely nothing. They had a 2-minute montage of them just slamming us and talking about how great they've been all year against us with the T's. But again, it's nice to know that we match up against Toronto well. We know our play style is suited to beat how they play and how they go about things. But again, the knowledge gap at this point here is null. It's about who shows up on the day and who plays their best. If all 4 of us can show up like we played yesterday, then we're looking really good, especially in a day where you potentially play 3 matches to make it to Sunday. It's important that all 4 of us are firing all cylinders. So again, good stats to know, but really at this point, we are not using that to any kind of our advantage.
Well, fill your boots, you buttes. We've got ourselves what has been a very entertaining 2 maps. Vancouver currently up on the home squad here in championship weekend for Black Ops 6, but 2 tight maps. I mean, it could not really be much closer than what we've got, but Vancouver still hold the edge. Flex your Molson muscle right there, Jay. Tell me how these guys reverse sweep.
Oh, it's going to be tough, man, because if you are Ultra, obviously you're spawning into your best control on the season. 14-8 overall record on Vault. You're great on both the attacking and the defensive side. But if they're able to get through this, the next 2 maps are heavily in favor of Surge. You got a Hasi Hardpoint and a Dealership S&D, which you are 1-9 on the entire season if you manage to get to that game number 5. But they're probably not even worried about that game 5. They want to take it map by map, and this young man on that side, Mr. Joe Deceives, he has to be an X factor because he didn't bring it in at S&D.
Yeah, I think the thing about this, and we've told this story a million times, kind of looking between the SMGs, between the individuals on either side, but one of the things we've often said, and maybe not pointed to directly in a very specific moment, is Neptune is not just individually being great. He's helping set up his teammates for success and vice versa. We have not seen really throughout consistently the rest of the year where Joe Deceives is getting the supporting roles that he needs from players like Insight and Kleenex. I think you saw that, of course, in that most recent stat line from Insight, just not really being able to find things in the search and destroy. So it can't just be Joe. That's what I'm getting at. It has to be all 4 guys as a part of the success that Joe is already starting to create.
Oh yeah, without question, man. Every single player needs to step up to a whole different level because your backs are against the wall. Here at COD Champs in Ontario, you do not want to try to bomb out here, potentially end your season on not winning a single map in the last 2 days. Ultra are a lot better than this. They just got to show it right here, right now. And I think I'm more focused on what the ARs are going to be able to bring on a map like Vault, where you need to be able to dominate those long distance lanes. Insight and Beans are going to be the deciding factors.
Let's see what we get. We got Toronto on the offense, trying to frame up the reverse sweep. Can they find a way to kick us off with an opening attack? Already on to A. First blood good, up 4, and that's now an opportunity to likely get this first tick of progress, but Neptune fights back, and you got Nasty working on a bit of a pinch.
Oh, and they already find the second kill as well, so Vancouver, no, we have the numbers advantage. We can still try to find our way back in towards A before this first segment gets locked. They do just that. Now the map control in their favor. You already have players like Nasty working the OE through B Street, and Ultra got to take their time working out of the spawn.
So many critical 1v1s being won by Vancouver right there. I mean, it's just the trust that Nasty in a 2v4 essentially can still run through B Street, know that Abusa's got his too. Unbelievable. Ultra work out of the early spawn trap quickly, though. Back onto A we go. Secondary fight good for Ultra. Finding Nasty is critical, but 0-4 up top. Now has the pressure mounting for Vancouver for a quick response. Stun in. Here comes the take. Neptune shut down immediately. Nice shots from Joe Deceive. 3 in a row, and the first tick is locked.
And the second segment also could potentially be locked in. 0-4 does find one on the pinch, but second segment gets locked. You're still trying to extend the time early on if you can. You're finding trade after trade, but inside you need a double. Can only get 1. And Surge take mid-map again.
They do get the second tick lock, though. 45 seconds, just a 2-life deficit. 0-4, slippery in the pool. Shuts down one route, but the quick trade is in. Neptune also found before he can push up, so that should be enough to try to flood through.
Oh my God!
Are you kidding me? He gets another triple. Now you're under 30 seconds, and the rest of Surge's defense is here.
They have the advantage again. Already find the initial kill. 0-4 strikes for number 2. Now it's a 2v2 for the mid-map control. Kleenex wins a 1-on-1. Actually finds a double, so it's all on 0-4.
Stop it. 9-3. Both weapons to play with. Clock pauses at 14.5. Here's 0-4 looking for more. Has the AR up. Able to slam onto 1. Not quite more. Kleenex inside the long-time duo. Keeping the play alive. 9v8. Keep that in mind as we so fight over the top of the A zone. Nice set text coming through. Extra 60 seconds. 8v7.
Surge now just going to put themselves in a position to play for the exits, but Insight, being the fundamental guy, wraps back over towards backside ammo, gets the flare farthest pushed on up, also finds a second, but it's a 6v6.
Spawn is close. to try to get the fourth member for Ultra on towards the zone. Still plenty of time. 6v5 numbers for the first time for Ultra, favoring in the life department. No trophy system down to keep Kleenex safe, but a lot of the opening utility has already been avoided. Here comes the follow-up. First tick of progress looking decent. You got a pinch being worked on by 04. Does he get around the backside of Vault Stairs? No one's watching for it. 04 is going to find two. Neptune gets the third, and numbers go back the way of Surge in the 4v3.
Now, if you are inside, just value your life. Currently have some vault control. It's basically a TDM round now. Already gotten 4 segments. You're trying to look for the opening kill. Kleenex gonna spot out 04. He's not gonna commit, just gonna play his life still.
Clock now, starting to be an extra enemy for the Ultra. Insight does get the isolated kill though onto 04. 3 versus 3. Final 18. This next move is the most gritty for Ultra. How do you get onto the zone? You haven't really even looked towards B Street. You don't know if anyone's playing off of a pinch. And now it's on to Nasty again. Number 4 in teal, playing around the back. There's the stopping of the clock. Nasty finds the first. Semtex out, setting up his teammates for more. Joda sees the last one left for the 1v3. Cannot go anywhere. Oh, what are we talking about? What a round for Vancouver.
Yeah, Toronto was just trying to play for the information on what the setup was gonna look like. You throw a shoulder at line, you spot out Neptune. But you realize there's only 10 seconds left. We have to commit on the objective. That's what allows Nasty, the player who was originally sitting at the statue, to know no one's working the pinch. They're all got to be walking from the front side. And times that flank to perfection to allow Surge to not let that defense slip away.
So many individual heroic moments. So many. Abuza starts us off. Nasty follows up with 3. And then you also get the long pinches coming through for Neptune and 04 over and over again, just keeping Ultra on their heels. Still, decent progress had been made for Ultra on the offensive side. So not the end of the world with 4 ticks already confirmed.
Now, Surge, your opportunity for the offense. Everything about control is usually off the break-off. You find the initial 2 kills, a team kill is going to go down, so you still have presence around this mid-map area. Now all of Ultra off the respawn. This is some guaranteed segments for Surge.
Yeah, just give Nasty credit for that team kill supplied by Beans. So much damage already been tallied. Opportunity for Joe to try to pop up through the hole in the vault. Nope, checked out by Neptune. Kleenex though, a little bit of a pinch set up with Beans. Finds 3, pistol out, Abuza with the whip. But again, already an extra 60 had been tallied. Big news though, 2:10 on the clock and 3 life edge for Surge.
Now that 3-piece from Kleenex is not going to be felt. Abuza still holding down the mid-map pressure. You already find the initial kill on the OE for Joe. You're looking for this trade on the inside. All of B Street is cleared out. Let's pause the game clock.
Beans up top, good damage. Neptune pushing forward. No, not gonna get the second. Ultra will stabilize. Nades out, keep Abuza down for cover. 22 plays 19, still a 3 life, make it 4 life, make it 5 life edge now for Surge. Able to win in the kill feed. Nasty's got some outside palm control. Now you've got to pause the clock to a minute 44, but Insight gets 1. Opportunity for a pinch on the other side for Joe for Ultra.
That's a big kill from Insight and a bigger kill there from Beans.
Wow, what an exit.
Working on the pinch. Wins the one-on-one, secures ammo side for his team. Is now going to force Surge to either work the OE or waste time on the rat back. A minute and 30 left to play with. Kleenex whip house an extra AR to take down Neptune. But all the map control in favor of Ultra currently.
04 trying to work on the red dot hunt. Can't quite get the mantle up top through ammo. Instead, goes the more traditional route. Finds Joe. Now it's an SMG to play with. Neptune cleans up. That's going to lead to open to the middle of the map. Nasty sees the rear end of Insight. Can't quite finish, but Neptune's right there to supply the kill. Beans the last one standing as Surge now make their way forward.
How do they not know where this guy just went? He was just in front of Art. All of a sudden, you lose track of him, and he makes a very impactful kill, making it double. All 4 coming off the respawn. You only have 1 player on the objective. Nasty setting up the repinch. Surge are dominating right now.
What'd you say at the beginning of the year, Jay? Slide, slide, slippery slide. Neptune all over the place in the back line. Second tick done, 3rd on the way. Can anyone get here to touch? Beans gets the first, but cannot stop the progress from coming through. Surge up 2-0 in the control.
It's just too much pressure on the side of Surge. The AR's drawing the attention, the SMG's hitting the open lanes. If you're not finding trades, the game is only going to be more and more difficult. Now backs completely against the wall here for Ultra. Down 0-2 in the series, down 0-2 in the control. You got to put it together right here, right now.
a mountain to climb, though. Break off, super critical just to getting an edge early and trying to turn this series for maybe a first time in favor of Ultra since we were here on P1 in map 1. Kleenex on the corner. 04 gets first blood, and here comes Surge from the catwalk position, trying to work their way in to stop the progress immediately. Kleenex wins his first battle, but has so much more in front. Decent snap, but Surge, too much help nearby. Keep the A zone safe.
All mid-map control as well in their favor. First second does not get locked in, and Joe is going to be trapped into a corner.
Or not.
But wins the one-on-one gunfight, so you have the numbers advantage to still reinforce your way back to the middle of the map. But 04 with the Semtex evens it up. Inside and Beans, they'll combine for 2, and it's still a mixy battle around mid-map.
Clock slips underneath, a minute left remaining in the fight, though. Neptune down low. What a snap that was on the Insight. Beans overwhelmed, and now Surge start to make their move forward. Kleenex holding off the spawn trap as long as simply possible, but Neptune in and out just like a ghost. Finds himself his 20th elimination. He's 20 and 13, making 21 with 4 in a row. Travis McCloud has arrived. He's dominating the Great White North. But Ultra stop him in his tracks and have a chance at 30 seconds to try to get more progress done today.
That's a big 2 exit kill, but now we need to try to extend this game clock. Everyone, let's stack in towards A. Try to value your life, because here comes 04 from Top Cat. You know he's not going to shy away from a chow. Sets up Neptune for the second. You got the numbers to reinforce your way back through mid. Ultra, last push.
Kleenex just kind of finding some opportunity to stop the clock at B. But the rest of Ultra off the spawn. Working through Nasty, trying to get the extra 60 seconds. Nasty finds his opening. Vancouver a little bit slow to get back over to recontest, but here comes Neptune on the cross in, denied by Insight. Follow up from Kleenex, good. 12.6 on the clock. Lives are going to be tied. That's going to be a second tick, and Kleenex is going to try to play through vaults. They're shut down by Nasty, but the extra 60 should be earned.
Yeah, they tried to make quick transition over towards B, but at least you have been able to extend the game clock. You're just still down by 1 life, and we still cannot find trades. On to Mr. Travis McCloud. 24 and 16. He's been the deciding factor all season long between these two squads. There's only 55 seconds left to work with. Ultra gotta find an opening.
And Neptune is still finessing. You have to deal with him. Finally, Beans is able to put him down. But boy, that dog can hunt. Insight now over towards B. Nasty still playing on the outside of Palms. Vancouver a little bit weary that someone had slipped through. You can see a couple of members are looking backside Art. They get the clearance. Now you've got the clock. Stop it. Nasty pops up, finds himself 1. Insight in some trouble. Nade's coming through, but denied by the trophy, but he cannot slip away. 9v5, final 30 seconds. Last life for Ultra.
Ultra got to make this one perfect. You only got 30 seconds to make something. Gonna have Kleenex trying to work the OE, but Neptune wins the one-on-one versus Beans. No more respawns.
What a story it's been for Neptune. 9 and 2 to the life count. 04 puts it down to 1, and no one will survive. Vancouver, they dominated Toronto a number of times this season, but this time here at World Champs, the most definitive of 3-0 as Vancouver move on.
Ever since the addition of Mr. McCloud, the squad in purple have yet to be able to beat this squad on Vancouver's side. They have just been unreal. So far in the season, he averages a 1.3, and I think he just one-upped that
A little bit.
entire 3-0. He was just simply untradeable, unnoticeable on the map, and just way too much to handle for the opposing SMGs on the other end. Vancouver are starting to rally. They finally get over that hump of beating LAT for the very first time this season, and so far they're making the most of it every match after.
It's just been one hell of a tournament. I mean, this year you could go back and you could classify the fact that we had a top 2 teams, and then there was a battle of who wanted to be the 3rd best team in this game. We wasn't sure if it was going to be Toronto. We weren't sure if it was going to be Carolina early on in the year. And then Travis comes into the mix, picked up from challengers, having one of his best years by far, and instantly turns a group of guys that, let's be honest, we're not looking at this Vancouver team on paper at the beginning of the year and saying, oh, these guys are going to be a top 4 squad. They've made it to 2 grand finals. To their credit, not able to win any maps there, but still 2 grand finals, and now you've dominated the Canadian Clash. and a chance to possibly be more than the third best team in the game here at Champs.
Yeah, it's insane, man, because when you think about this Vancouver squad, they made it to, like you said, 2 grand finals, lost to Atlanta, lost to LAT, have yet to be able to beat LAT throughout this entire season. But sometimes all you realistically need is one opportunity. They found their opportunity this past weekend to get over that hump, and now they feel like no one can beat them.
Correct.
It's got to be a good feeling.